Welcome 2021. Oh my gosh, the Caribbean Edge kids. Welcome, Aunty Sophie.
Thank you. Wow, thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year is right. So 2020 was a challenging year, but some great things happened in 2020. The Caribbean Edge Kids was born and you re-entered my life.
Yes. We've got history.
So it's important to talk about, how we started the Caribbean Edge Kids. So I thought it was so important for just me and you to sit down and chat and catch up with how we know each other, where we're coming from, the history of storytelling, and our goals, dreams, and what you're up to as our resident storyteller, Aunty Sophie. So welcome 2021 to all the viewers, all the guests, all the children, all the parents, all the sponsors. Thank you for making 2020 successful for us.
That's right. Thank you so much, Aunty Dawn. It's a delight. I'm very, very excited. And just to let listeners know, you and I go way back when we were just teens. We were tiny tots. And of course, that very fateful day when I met you in that pageant in 1900, when we entered Miss and Catherine. So you've always been a cultural person, Dawn. You've always been someone who is not all about just the physical appearance and just the shell of a human being. The pageant, as we are all aware, Festival Queen Pageant, brings out the inner person, the inner beauty. It is an all-rounder. And in that pageant, we had to, of course, display talent. Yeah? So, of course, nobody knows this, but Miss Dawn, Aunty Dawn sang. Yes. She sang. She was quite brave. And of course, Aunty Sophie was always into poetry and dramatics. So of course, I performed a piece. So yeah, so that was how we met 1900. And then our lives changed. We went in different directions, and I ended up in the United States, and clearly you did, Dawn. And then, by the way, before I do that, you were in London for any time? Did you go to England at any point in your sojourn? I think you're muted, Aunty Dawn, after all these years. You need I was asking, I was like, I couldn't hear Aunty Dawn. I was asking if you ever spent a little time in England.
I was actually born in England. Right. I have a brother, Errol Wilson, and I have 5 other siblings as well. But my brother and I were from the same mom and dad, and we were taken to Jamaica at a really young age, 4 for me, he was 5. And so I grew up in Jamaica between my dad's home and grandma's home.
Right, well, which I remembered from sharing with our viewers some time ago. But I just wanted to, in your adult life, if you ever did spend any time when we lost touch, were you?
No, pretty much had back to England just once. But for the most part, I lived in California for 5 years, and now most of my life in the beautiful sunshine state of Florida.
You go, and then that's where we reconnected at an event where we bumped each other, and there we are. Everything else is history. So you know my passion, you know what I do, and thank goodness for social media, Facebook, and all the other forums that I started displaying what I do. And Aunty Dawn probably had some vision, and she thought, let's check this young lady and see if we could pull back out some kind of connection that we've had. And it has been magical, Aunty Dawn. Thank you so much. And I look forward to every single Sunday sitting in one cozy corner of my home safely, because Aunty Dawn is paranoid about COVID. So even though COVID is around, we still find the time to connect with the technology. And here we are, as she said, Caribbean Edge Kids was born, where we both can share our passion through this forum, and to you, the viewers, which we appreciate and absolutely treasure and could not make this happen without you and your dedication. And to the sponsors that Auntie Dawn mentioned, I just want you to remind our viewers of that sponsor, because I am endeared to that group because I believe in early education. And I think she models similar styles to what we remembered growing up in Jamaica in terms of the school setting and the discipline. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. So Bethlehem Junior Academy, Miss Barbara Nelson has been amazing. Just a community supporter with the kids and getting the parents and the children involved. So she was one of the first people that I mentioned it to, the thought and the idea that I had. And a lot of you know me from the Caribbean Edge itself. And so during COVID, like Auntie Sophie mentioned, it was this thought that came up to say, what are we doing for the kids? And I thought about, just having kids come on and read, especially during a time when the kids need to find an outlet, a safe place, so to speak. And I'm like, what are we doing for our Caribbean children and to showcase our rich culture with the rest of the world? So when I mentioned it to Miss Barbara from Bethlehem, she's like, oh my gosh, count me in. And if you know Barbara, she's full of energy. And she's like, whatever you want, we're going to make it happen. I'll talk to my kids about it. And so it's like, yes. So that was one of the first things, is just having a buy-in from someone I respect that would be able to help make it happen. And then, as you mentioned, I've known you for years. However, through life, we weren't seeing each other anymore and reconnected. So the pageant was our last kind of era together. Yeah. And then I don't know how I sang. I am not a singer at all. But back then you took risk that I wouldn't take now, as far as singing risk. And so I thought of you, and I always follow my thoughts, my passion, and it never goes wrong, never fails me. So I thought of you and your character because I'd seen you at a couple events and how you carry yourself and how you talk, and we started reconnecting. And I saw you at that cultural. It was actually not a good time, but you still made it very festive and cultural. So immediately you're the only person that came to mind. And thankfully you immediately, with your passion and energy, said, yes, I'm in as well. So everyone that I've spoken to about being a part of this, it has just been phenomenal. And love the concept and has supported it from day one. And I think within 2 days of having the concept, I already went on and registered it and said, I'm doing it. And I just did it. So if you have a vision and a dream, it just shows you how important it is, because 6 months later, we're still doing it. And like you said, we have the vision and the passion. And one of the amazing things is how much the kids come back and tell you, send you voicemails saying, thank you, Auntie Dawn and Auntie Sophie, for having me on the Caribbean Edge Kids. We love it. And we've had some of them come back 2-3 times. And one of the things that I've heard from some of the parents is just how much self-esteem the kids are getting from doing it, which is something I didn't think of initially. I just thought about them reading and being able to motivate other like-minded children. And so it's just been more rewarding than I could have even imagined thinking of it. So thank you for being part of this beautiful journey. You never say no to me.
Because you're an endearing person, Auntie Dawn, and now affectionately called by one of her greatest supporters, Donnie Pooh. So thank you.
The name just lives on. And so behind the scenes, we have Anthony Wilson, who makes a lot of the marketing stuff for us as well. And he's my son. So I thank him as well for making 2020 successful. And then Michelle Hussein, who is also a longtime friend. Oh my gosh, we go back years. And she, just saw what I was doing with the Caribbean Edge and then the Caribbean Edge Kids. And she's like, who's helping? And she's like, I'm doing it all by myself. So she jumped in and she's just found some amazing kids, which allows us, because the show is not just about kids from the Caribbean or Caribbean descent. It's sharing our culture with the rest of the world. So she's brought on kids from different cultures and background to come chat some patois with us, or to come hear some of Nancy's stories, or find out what storytelling is all about. And so we thank Michelle Houston, who hates being on camera, but was behind the scenes for both shows as well. So yes, we've been blessed this year, 2020, and we're certainly blessed going into 2021.
Looking forward to bigger, better, greater things. And I can't thank the parents enough, Aunty Dawn, for supporting this mission and this movement, so to speak, by bringing their kids on. And I've always encouraged the parents to continue to create bonds with your kids through reading. It's all good and well to set them up in front of a device, to have them watch a program. But believe me, the memory that you form with them by reading to them is for a lifetime. And I share this passion, I share this with Dawn, because it was instilled in me through my mother. We never had television, we never had the devices. So we then by default had no choice but to bond through reading and her storytelling. So that resonated with me. So it was an easy sell, Dawn, if you said, let's do this, because I know what it did for me. So for me to do this, I tell you, it's bringing back memories. And clearly some of the stories I share with Dawn, she's excited, sitting up all bright eyed, because she probably would have wanted that as she was growing up. But then she's now delving into this and feeling the passion and the joy that storytelling brings, So it's really a well-rounded program. It's doing so much, as you said, self-esteem building, courage building, assurance that kids can speak up and talk out, in public. So you're developing some young leaders, I can tell you that. We have seen that on the program.
We're so excited. Thank you. And, you mentioned going back to your mom who watches the show. So big up to your mom. She loves us.
Awesome.
And your daughter, who has also been on the show, who is a storyteller, which shows you passed on those traditions from yourself to your daughter as well. So Auntie Brittany has been on the show. We thank her as well. But one of the things that's important for, especially us living away from the Caribbean, overseas, is I grew up in a household where I didn't have anyone reading stories to me. I grew up reading books, American books, to my kids here. So being an adult and being able to give back to children and share our rich heritage and culture means everything to me. I wasn't allowed to speak patois at home, like some households aren't allowed to, because you had to speak the Queen's English. And so now it's really nice that I get to share the rich, beautiful language of Jamaica with people all over the world. So it's just so rewarding what we do.
As I said, it's really a wide, encompassing project. It's doing
yes. So the tradition of storytelling in Jamaica is just folk tales told by the slaves during the colonial period. So it's most associated with the Ashanti tribe from West Africa, which most of the slaves originated from. So the villagers would gather around and listen to stories and recreate those traditions. And then we have Miss Louise Bennett, Miss Lou, who took those stories to the stage as well. We've had Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks, who is phenomenal beyond measure. And she has blessed us on this show. Her experience, her culture, her knowledge, her smile, and how genuine she is on this show to share story time and continue the traditions for all these years and now pass it on to us and to future generations is beyond measure. So we thank Dr. Amina Meeks for everything she's done for this show in 2020 and 2021 to come as well. So how about you, Auntie Sophie? Do you want to share one of your beautiful stories with us?
Yes, I will. And before I do that, I also want to thank Norma Darby of Talawamento Band and Folk Review. I consider the cultural representative in South Florida that represents Louise Bennett dearly and pass the tradition on. So we thank her for blessing us with an appearance in one of our, I think is our
For a
Christmas
holiday special.
special.
Yes.
Mhm.
And Mr. Fiji, all of them there.
CG has sanctioned the program. He is the biggest kid we have had on the show. And he's such a delight. And we thank him so much for his support and his backing. And we really appreciate all the folks over the few months that have been sending in all the great encouragement that we've received, right, Auntie Dawn?
Yes.
So thank you. So when I say he gave us a full-throated endorsement as a politician, well, he's kind of not politician, so to speak, but we thank him from his auspicious office to bless us and thank us, right?
Yes.
All right. So, and you mentioned the history of storytelling and Nancy stories, which I do quite often on the program, but I want to use this moment, Auntie Dawn, to encourage our Caribbean authors, those who are out there who are writers and you have published books, reach out to the Caribbean Edge, talk to Auntie Dawn, let us know of the books that you have produced or rather published rather, so that we are able to share it. I'd be happy to read the books on our program and encourage our viewers and the parents and to buy and support you. So reach out to us. Auntie Dawn will tell you more about how to reach out to the Caribbean Edge and how to get to her to A, share your stories, or B, share your beautiful children. And remember, it's always kids 5 to, we've done 5 and we've done up to 15. So I think we're going to cap it at that, 5 to 15, even though we had a 4-year-old who blew us away. So she's an anomaly. It's not always you're going to find that. So if you do have that sparky 4-year-old that acts like a 5-year-old, we'll take her as well, right, Auntie Dawn? So yes, Nancy's stories, as I said, we shared. They were originated in West Africa. They were brought to Jamaica and other parts of the New World by the Ashanti slaves and were handed down orally. So clearly it's by telling the stories over and over that it reaches till it gets to us modern people, right? And Nancy, we know who exists as a spider or a man, as some characters, or a combination of the two. So that I usually explain to the kids. And by now, a lot of our viewers know what Anansi is all about just by the stories I've shared. But today, Auntie Dawn, I'm going to read quickly Dale's Mango Tree. You can see on the screen. And I'll use this moment to acknowledge the author, written and illustrated by Kim Robinson. Kim Robinson is a Caribbean author. And this is where I'm using the opportunity again to encourage you, if you write stories about the Caribbean or Caribbean life, or, stories that people can relate to and our viewers will be able to relate. So we encourage that. So we all know mango is very big in the Caribbean, right? And we love our mangoes. We talked and shared with the kids about the mangoes and the various mangoes and so on. So that is something that's dear to us. So this one is Gail's Mango Tree. And what is good about this too is that sometimes you hear the dialect coming out in this story. So here we go. And I think maybe today I can show pictures. Dale was a very little boy. And there we go. We see the little boy, right? And, but although he was only a little boy, he was very mean indeed. So we encourage children to be kind on the show, and we like to read stories that have morals, right? Stories that give moral. So everybody knew he was mean. And his little sister, who was even more little than he, knew most of all because he was always mean to her. But his nanny and his mommy knew whenever he pinched little sister or stuck out his tongue at her, that was being mean. The little sister would scream and go and tell nanny or mommy, and he would be scolded, or as the Jamaicans would say, spanked. But he never felt sorry. He only got mad at little sister because it was all her fault that he was getting a scolding or a spanking. So Nanny and Mommy did not know what to do with Dale. Mommy, said Nanny. Now, in our culture, we always have a nanny or somebody who's helping with the kids. We call them nanny or the helper, so to speak. But in this case, we said, Nanny, who was always there with mommy helping the little one. So Nanny and mommy did not know what to do with Dale. Mommy, said Nanny, your son is a real devil, you know. In love cause contention. Contention was a favorite word of Nanny's, and she used it very often. Said mommy. Mommy, so much contention will only lead to contention, said Nanny. Mommy did not say anything. Mommy would have preferred if she were the one saying not so nice things about her son instead of anybody else, even somebody as near and dear as Nanny. Why was Dale so mean? If you asked him, he would not have known what to tell you. He had never really thought about it. And to be honest, but he knew that little sister was a pest. Pest, thought Dale as he sat in the corner after his nanny had given him a spanking one day, and he stuck out his tongue at the wall and pretended that the wall was his little sister. So there you go. He's sitting in the corner in his timeout. We call it timeout. When summertime came, the mango tree in the backyard began to bear fruit. It had never borne fruit before. The mango tree was Dale's mango tree. His daddy had planted it for him from a seedling when he was born. Now, that is very popular in the Jamaican culture. When kids are born, the grandparents always tend to either plant we call it the navel string or the umbilical cord under a tree and name the tree after the kid and say that tree, as it grows and flourishes, so will the child. So clearly in this culture and this family, the dad planted a tree and named and called it Dale's mango tree. So, and he had watched it grow. Even though it was only a baby tree and had only 3 mangoes on it, Dale was very proud indeed. And I'll show you the 3 mangoes dangling on the tree. That was so skimpy little tree with 3 mangoes. Look at all my mangoes, he said, bursting with pride. Mommy and Nanny and little sister looked, and they all oohed and ahed. Then Mommy said, you must give little sister a mango, Dale. No, said Dale. He scowled. Eh? Said Nanny. Contention? Well, Mommy, you see the contention? Yes, said Mommy. Little sister began to scream. Wah! And said little sister, you see, you little sister cry. See how you make your little sister cry? Said Nanny. You is a mean, mean boy. A mean, mean boy. Dale scowled some more. Mean boys cause contention, said Nanny, hoping that this would cause Dale to tremble and shake. But Dale did not tremble or shake, mainly because he was not sure what contention really meant. And also because, to be quite honest, he did not really care. Mommy, you're not going to spank him, said Nanny. No, said Mommy. Huh? Said Nanny, quite surprised. I said no, said Mommy. Oh, said Nanny, and was silent for quite some time. Then she finally said, well, you know best. Yes, said Mommy. Dale was not too sure what was happening, but it did not bother him. He just looked at his mango tree and thought of eating every single one of those mangoes all by himself. When he was going to bed that night, he took one last look at the mango tree from his window, and then he jumped into his bed and had some very happy dreams about eating all those mangoes. But the next morning, when he woke up and looked out his window, horror of horrors, the mangoes were all gone. Dale ran as fast as he could to find his mommy. When he found her, he started to cry. Mommy, Mommy, he said. What's the matter, Dale? Asked Mommy. My mangoes, wailed Dale. They're gone. And I'll show you how the mango tree was bare. That's frightening for a little kid. Okay? And then Mommy did not seem too surprised. Well, Dale, it's all your own fault, she said. Dale did not like how that sounded. He cried louder, but Mommy did not seem to notice. That's what happened to naughty little boys like you, Dale. If you're not nice to other people, then things that aren't nice happen to them. Dale cried even louder. But still, Mommy did not seem to notice. On the other hand, said she, they're really and truly sorry they were naughty and aren't naughty again. Sometimes nice things might happen. Dale stopped crying. Mommy dried his eyes. Now go to Nanny for breakfast, she said. Dale went to breakfast. Little sister was there. He did not stick out his tongue at her. He did not pinch her. He did not even scowl at her. In fact, he even said bye-bye to her when he was leaving for school. She and Nanny also stared open-mouthed in surprise because they realized Dale was changing, right? When he came home, he was just as good, and he was good the next day. Nanny got worried. Mommy, said Nanny, I think your son's sick or something. For 2 whole days now, he don't pinch little sister or stick out his tongue at her or give her bad looks. Oh, yes, said Mommy. And the next day, lo and behold, just like magic, the 3 mangoes were at the foot of Dale's bed when he woke up. Look, Mommy had put them at the foot of his bed. And Dale was excited. He took them and he gave 1 to Mommy, 1 to Nanny, and 1 to little sister. And Mommy kissed him on the cheek and gave him half her mango. And Nanny said, come here, my little honey bun. Then Nanny kissed him on the cheek and gave him half her mango. And little sister, so as not to be left out, kissed him on the cheek, but she ate up all her mango. She never gave him any, but she's a baby. And Dale did not mind. And they were all very happy. The end.
The end.
And Aunty Dawn.
What do you normally say at the end?
The end. Unless I read an Anansi story, then I say, Jack Mandora, me not choose none. Okay, so that's some of the things we do on the Caribbean Edge Kids, reading stories to the children, hoping they'll learn, hoping the stories will resonate, and hoping that they will get some kind of boost, encouragement, or just learn the moral of the story. So
absolutely,
kind kid is always best. You get rewarded, right?
I love the Anansi story because you get to say the end in Jack Mandora.
You know, choose none.
And I think the tradition behind that is to forgive or something.
No, it's actually saying,
trickster.
no, what it is, it's actually saying the story I bring you is in its original form. I didn't add nor did I subtract. I'm giving it to you as I got it. Jack Mandora, me no choose none. So that's really how that came about, to say at the end of the stories of Anansi story. But at the end of any story, Aunty Dawn, we say the regular ones,
the
end.
Absolutely. So thank you for another brilliant story. I love your stories, Aunty Sophie.
Thank you.
And I was reading something about how in Jamaica we actually developed our own stories. So some of the characters that have come up over the years in Jamaica, and I'm going to have to read up on some of them because I don't know them. So I encourage you to do the same. But Big Boy,
yes.
Rolling Calf,
yes.
Big Belly, River Mama,
Mm-hmm.
Annie Palmer, that one I know, and Three Finger Jack. So those are some of the traditional stories. So I'm also so fascinated because no one knows everything. So it's such a great learning experience for us all. And the internet is there for us to use and discover so much about our culture and everything.
Right.
So another sponsor that actually sent us some books from Jamaica. So there's a perfect way how you can help the Caribbean Edge kids if you want to get involved this year. But Blue Banyan Books, and we must hail up Tanya for sending us some of the books that they have there. So, and these books will go to some of our children. But the Happiness Dress, and I read this one this morning. There's Bolo the Monkey. So I'll post these all over again. These are some of the books they sent to us for our children. A Dark Iris, Sandy Tosh and the Moo Cow, and Bunu Nunu's Hair. So we'll be passing on some of these books, because one of the things we want to do for 2021 is have our very own book club, because reading is also left up to interpretation. So, you know, if you give the kids the books to read, they may all come up with something that they got from that book, and we'll be able to share those thoughts and stories with you online as well. So we thank you very much for donating these books. Dr. Rupert Francis also sent us some books. So we have a Nancy, Miss Lou. So we got to thank Dr. Rupert. This one's mine, by the way. And we have another Miss Lou that he sent us. So there's so many books that are out there that speak to our culture. This one is A is for Aki. So very nice. Jamaica in my tummy. I think most Jamaicans have Jamaican in their tummy. We're so proud of our little country.
And the food, yes.
And the food all the time, and a little Miss Lou. So many great books out there, and I'm going to read and tell you all my favorite ones as well this year. So thank you for sending us books. We appreciate it. So Aunty Sophie, tell us about the cultural corner, because you have a
it's the funny thing you say that, because I say that all the time, when in fact it's the culture zone, because it's my little corner that I share the culture of the Caribbean, and we're expanding to the world at large, to others. Okay, so now there's this new television TV series, TV station rather. Let me back it up and give the kudos correctly. A TV station called Ira Times TV. You know, of course, we'll have her on. Maybe she'll come on to one of your programs to talk about the origins and the startup of the Ira Times TV station, which is my dear friend Judith Fallon Reed, that everybody knows, right? She's an author, she's a published author, she's a performer, she's an all-rounder, an amazing woman. So when she approached me about sharing a little corner of my world with her and the viewers, and extending the culture, I was excited. And of course, the culture corner came to my mind to say that would be it. So that stuck with us for a while, Aunty Dawn, till we kind of, it evolved and we said, okay, it's the culture zone. So again, you're coming in my zone. And this program is aired on the IRITimesTV.com. We'll try to launch a brand new episode every Saturday, and then there's a repeat of Tuesdays and Thursdays. And my 3 times would be 8:30 a.m. for the early risers, and then the 2:30 p.m. spot, and then again 8:30 p.m. at night for those who missed the 2 first episodes. So this is what's happening with me. I'm sharing my culture with the world, and I thank Aunty Dawn, as I said earlier, for allowing me this space and this forum to share my passion, which is reading and storytelling to children. But in the culture zone, I do a broader reach with, I highlight cultures, as I said, across the diaspora, across the Caribbean, across the world, sharing different things to our viewers, right? So this is exciting for me, and 2020, I guess, has borne that, right, with COVID and the lockdown and being away from outside. We're inside, but we could do so much inside. With technology, we're able to share our passion with the world. So thanks for mentioning in that, Aunty Dawn, of my new project, which is The Culture Zone on IRITimesTV.com.
Love it. And the Caribbean Edge is actually a part of Ira Times TV. So we thank them as well for including us on this brand new platform.
Yes.
Like Auntie Sophie says, we're indoor now, so there's so much to learn and share about our rich culture and heritage. So thank you, Ari Times TV, for hosting both the Culture Zone and you spell Culture Zone differently, right?
Right. We try to make a twist with it. Kulture, culture.
Mm-hmm.
And again, speaking of the language, Dawn, with the patois, you're able to spell a word how you feel it, which we express to the children on the Caribbean Edge Kids as we share some of our language with them and ask them, we give them a sentence and we ask them sometimes to interpret what they think it means, or we ask them to repeat the sentence in the Jamaican dialect. So yes, culture, you just spell it or you feel it. Culture, Kulture, right? Are we good with that? Yes, so we thank Judith Fallon Reed and her dear husband Michael Brown, who give me this opportunity to share my joy with the world. Yes.
And you are phenomenal and amazing, and I'm so glad you said yes to me when I asked.
Stop putting me up, Aunty Dawn.
No, man, I'm so thrilled. Even though I pull you back from vacation.
I know, but doing this is rewarding. So I think vacation is in the doing. When we do it sometimes, Aunty Dawn, we don't realize. I know you have fun doing it. I watch your face. Yes. You are one of the bigger kids too on the program. So while we're doing it, we're having fun. We're still having fun. So it's still rewarding for us, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to read one of the books that Blue Banyan sent to us, the Happiness Dress.
Yes.
I thought it was a cute little book, and it's written by Diane Brown and illustrated by Rachel Moss. A parcel came for Caroline. It has lots of pretty stamps on it, said Caroline. Where's it from? From Auntie Inez, Daddy's other sister in the Caribbean, said Mommy. I wonder what's in it, said Caroline. It's a dress, exclaimed Caroline. The dress had bright red, pink, yellow, and orange flowers all over it. What a dress, exclaimed Mommy with a frown. Grandma sighed. Inez has no idea about the clothes people wear here. It's so wrong, groaned Auntie Joan. Can I try it on? Asked Caroline. Yes, said Mommy, but it won't do. Caroline tried on the dress. She thought she looked like a flower. Red, pink, yellow, and orange. She turned around and around, and the skirt swirled red, pink, yellow, and orange. I like it, she exclaimed, laughing. And there's the colorful dress, if you can see it. And then she says, it won't do, said Mommy. It looks like a market, too bright. It won't do, said Grandma. It looks like a jungle, too crowded. It won't do, added Auntie Joan. It looks like a carnival, too loud. But I like it, Caroline declared. But where can you wear it, said Mommy. Not shopping with me. Not to church with me, said Grandma. Not anywhere with me, added Auntie Joan. You could wear it at home. But I want to wear it out. It makes me feel happy, said Caroline. And she looked as if she might cry. At least it made me happy till you all said what you said. Then you can wear it out with me, said Daddy. What? Exclaimed Mommy with a frown. Where to? We're going out for a walk right now, declared Daddy. Come, Caroline, he said. Caroline skipped along beside Daddy. That's a pretty dress, Caroline, said their neighbor, Mrs. McTavish. It makes me think of the beautiful flowers in my last garden. That's a pretty dress, Caroline, said Mr. Syme at the grocery shop. It makes me think of all the wonderful birds and plants in the park near the place where I used to live. That's a pretty dress, Caroline, said Mrs. Thomas at the pastry store. It makes me think of having carnival all the time. When they got home, Daddy said, we had a great walk. Everyone liked my dress, said Caroline. It made them feel happy too. It's my happiness dress. Grandma sighed. People say what they don't mean. All the people, Caroline asked. Those people don't know anything, said Caroline's mommy. All the people, Caroline asked again. They think it's all right because you're a Caribbean person, Auntie Joan added. But you're the ones from the Caribbean, said Caroline. I was born here and I like the dress. It's a happiness dress. Daddy smiled and said, I think Caroline's dress is something like your hat with a purple feather on it, Mother. Caroline didn't know if he liked the hat or like the lace curtains you bought, dear, he said to Mommy. Caroline knew he didn't like the curtains. Like the blue shoes, Joan, Caroline knew he didn't like the blue shoes either. They all signed. Suddenly, Caroline had a thought. She said, do you have a happiness anything, Daddy? Daddy laughed and said, you, Caroline, you are my happiness daughter. Caroline grinned. She knew that. The end. So I know this is a cute little book about perception, and Daddy took her out, so it was a nice little book. So that's my 2121.
Yeah,
2021.
thanks for reading, Auntie Dawn. Thanks for taking
Thank
the
you.
chair. That was a lovely story. Remind me of the author. Remind me of the author.
The author is Diane Brown.
Wonderful.
It's a really nice book, and we'll be giving this and sharing it with the kids this year. So thank you, Blue Banyan Books, for sending us books to encourage the kids to keep reading. And we're going to wrap it up. We just want to thank you all for making 2020 successful, to all the guests that have been on the show, the parents, our sponsors. We're looking for more sponsors this year. You can email us at thecaribedgekids@gmail.com, or you can reach out to us on Facebook Messenger. But we're here and looking to do great things for their children. I want to thank all the amazing children that have been on, that have made this show successful as well. And our Auntie Sophie, we can't thank you enough for all the stories, all the laughs, and the pleasure you've given us. Thank you for the journey.
Thank you. God bless you. And we always end by saying walk good. But again, I just want to reiterate to the parents, please make memories with your little ones, read, share the time, and share them with us too. So again, Auntie Dawn, one more time with how they can reach out to you.
The THE Carib, CARIB, Edge, EDGE, kids, KIDS, @gmail.com.
Beautiful. And they'll send you a note to say they've got a beautiful little one at home that they'd like to share with the world. So here we are. So we encourage you to write us and let us know. We're looking forward to sharing 2021 with you all. Thank you.
One love, walk good.
Good. And be yourself.
Awesome week. Awesome 2021. Bye from TCE Kids.
Bye. Keep reading.